So where are we, Claire?
We're at Portsmouth Harbour.
And what are you making me do?
What am I making you do?
Yeah.
Oh, take a 31-hour ferry from England to Spain.
Why?
Because it's fun.
Because it's fun.
Because it's fun. It's joy of overlanding.
Dark, it's cold. We're in Portsmouth because for some reason Claire's footsteps has convinced me to take a 32-hour ferry. 31 hour, possibly 32 hours. We're not even sure. What we do know is that this is the longest ferry in Europe. Luckily, there'll be some Pintxos and a cold Cerveza on the other side. Welcome to Portsmouth International Ferry Port. Or as they say, ahoy. This is the last stop on the English coast. This great naval and maritime hub. And from here, we'll be braving the English Channel, the stormy oceans of the Atlantic, and the hopefully calmer waters of the Bay of Biscay. Because we are traveling from Portsmouth to Santander on Europe's longest commercial ferry. Right, we're going to see if we can check in now. We're a few hours early, but let's find out. It is 8 p.m. We've checked in and we have another 3 hours to kill until we can actually board the ferry. So we're just hanging out here in the waiting hall. There's not a whole lot to do here. I'll take you on a little tour, seeing as we have 3 hours to kill. There's not much going on. So this is the inside of Portsmouth International Ferry Terminal. Not a whole lot going on now. But yeah, if you ever find yourself here, you've got a little general store down here where you can stock up on a few British souvenirs before you head off. And then you've got your check-in desks over there as well. Border force. And a little waiting area. And a small cafe where you can get a beer. And that's about it. So, 3 hours still to kill. Just gonna, sit around, prepare for this ridiculously long journey. So this is the boarding card they give you at check-in. We'll be traveling on the Santona, which is a Brittany ferry. And we've got a cabin. Should have some nice little bunks. And we'll be following in the footsteps of the ancient mariners and fishermen and traders that have plied these waters for centuries. Claire's already been eating the emergency rations that we picked up in Portsmouth before we came to the terminal.
Stuff left.
She's dug into the mini egg chocolate that we were saving in case we get stuck at sea.
Being very dramatic.
What are your thoughts on the journey ahead?
I'm excited and buzzing.
Excited?
Nothing more than a ferry journey. It's the longest I've ever been on.
So this whole journey, this ferry, the longest ferry in Europe, this was Claire's idea basically.
If it involves a ferry, it's always my idea.
It involves a ferry, it's her idea. So rather than, taking the 2-hour flight, probably less to Santander, or even taking a bus, which might actually be quicker. I don't know. Would it be quicker?
You'd rather take a bus from England to Spain than take a ferry with our own cabin. You'd rather sit in a Flixbus.
Alright, maybe that wouldn't be such a good idea.
That would be the same as well.
Maybe this is a good idea. I don't know, we'll find out.
I'm getting the train on the way back, which is quicker.
So there you go, ferry. Probably quicker than the bus, but maybe not as quick as the train. Definitely not as quick as flying, but better for the environment. It is 11 p.m. and we can finally get on board the boat. So here begins 32 hours on the open ocean. Made it through successfully, security checked, and then you take a little bus. There's for passengers, there's about 6 or 7 people on the bus, and they take you through to the loading area, which is this bit behind me. So yeah, this is the cargo deck. And we're just waiting for the lift because our cabin is on deck 9 and we've got this big squeaky suitcase to take up. Oh, it's here, it's here.
With weird.
Let's go.
To make sure we don't. Right.
Yeah, true.
Like crew only, no access to deck 9 cabins. Curious.
So we're staying on deck 9, but the mystery begins because deck 9 is apparently crew only, no access to deck 9 cabins. Alright, so the mystery of the 9th floor continues. The elevator wouldn't take us to the top, and then we got deposited in some staff only kitchen area. But we made it to the main deck. Everyone was drinking beers already. And I think we're on deck 9 now. You're going to have to go across all the bar area and then up some stairs. And this looks like the right place. What number are we?
928.
928. You're looking forward to sleep?
Yes.
Made it to the cabin on the Santona, which will be our home for the next 32 hours. And of course, paying a premium for this lovely sea view here, which is 3D generated. I'm not even sure how they do that. Bizarre. Anyway, as you can see, it's yeah, it's not bad. It's kind of spacious for a ship, I guess. You've got 4 beds you can pull down if you want to. Got 2 down on the floor. Got a television and a nice little ensuite. I've made it on deck in the dark. This is Santona, part of the Brittany Ferries fleet, and this is Portsmouth in darkness. So in 32 hours we should be in Spain, in Santander, eating Pintxos and drinking cold Cerveza. This outdoor deck is huge. There's even a gym. Not sure I'm up for a late night workout at almost midnight, but yeah, maybe in the morning. Probably not in the morning. And that's it. We're off. Cruising past the Royal Naval frigates. And the English Channel is up that way. Now I think it's time to call it a night. Catch you guys on the open ocean in the morning. Good morning from the inside cabin of the Santona. It's about 8:30 in the morning on UK time. Because we're leaving from Portsmouth, the ship is running on UK time. And when we get to Santander, we'll be an hour ahead, I think. But I think if you're departing from Santander, if you're doing this in the opposite way, you would have the journey on Spanish time, I think, or if you were coming from France, French time. So it's how they operate on the seas. It's not a whole new world to me, really. But surprisingly comfy sleep. That was probably the best sleep I've had in weeks, if I'm honest. I was expecting the ship to be rocking around violently. I've had that experience before when I was up in the North Sea, but it seems a whole lot calmer heading out into the English Channel. Hopefully it stays that way. I'm not sure. We're probably nearing the Atlantic Ocean soon, so it might get a little bit more rolly, a little bit rougher, pitching around a bit, but we'll see how that goes. Alright, it's time to find some breakfast and to give you guys a tour of the ship as well. So these are the corridors we're staying in. They've all got these lovely pictures of the Basque Country, Pyrenees, France, Spain. And we're staying on the Camino de Santiago section of the ship. And it seems like each section of the ship is named after some sort of historical route or site in Spain or France, Portugal. Definitely got Titanic vibes around here. As you can see, flags of the Six Nations, because the rugby's on. Oh, so there's Italy, Scotland, Wales, France, England, Ireland. We were wondering where the Basque flags were, where the Cornish flags were, where all the separatist flags were, basically. So they have these big, heavy doors leading out to the decks, which Claire just informed me is in case the ship sinks.
Well,
It means
a preventative measure.
It means that they can compartmentalise the boat so the entire ship doesn't sink. But hey, we're not sinking today. So here we are on the open ocean. And I guess that's... England is somewhere behind us right now. So we're on the bow of the ship. No, we're on the stern. The bow, the stern. The bow or the stern. We're at the rear of the ship, but you can't say rear. It's the... We're at the back of the ship, the stern of the ship.
Huh?
The stern.
I think so.
Yeah. The bow is the front. Boat expert here. Well, welcome to the English Channel. So we're stood at the stern of the ship. It's a beautiful sunny morning on the ocean. And England is somewhere that way. 8 hours of ferry time behind us now. Almost 9. So yeah, it's going to be a nice sunny day. So hopefully crack a few beers out here later on the sun deck. Treat this a little bit like a mini cruise. Looks like someone's had room service. Very Titanic-esque vibes along this. If you've seen the film, you'll know the scene that I'm talking about. Hope that doesn't happen. No, who am I kidding? I'm being dramatic. This is probably one of the safest ways to travel. Giving me evils.
I get off ferries all the time.
So just figuring out the layout of the ship really. So deck 10, the top deck, that's where you've got your helicopter pad for evacuations, I imagine, and your sun deck where we were just hanging out and checking out the weather, and then wearing Camino de Santiago. And then you've got Calle Real and freight drivers' cabins. This is where the bar lounge areas are. And then deck 7, Camino de la Playa. Is that way of the beach?
Yeah.
And that's where your shopping and kids areas, kids play areas are, etc.
Was that? I'm just going to put something out.
Yeah.
This is, so when we got on, we got the lift up. We must have got it through this section because we weren't allowed to go to 9,
Oh,
were
yeah.
we? So this must be the staff area.
Yeah, last night we got really lost. So we got on, the bus took us into the garage deck. And then we
This
weren't.
left here.
Yeah. So we would have gone straight up here, and we ended up somewhere in the middle of where we weren't supposed to be, and then had to go down and around. They do have some fancy lounges as well. El Castro Lounge. Not for us, not for the peasants. And this is the bar area. Your lifeboat's over there. This is the Plaza. This is the Plaza Mayor Bar. Legendary. And then you've got these artworks as well. What are these? These are the Meninas. A life-size statue. Oh, pass the time, a little bit of art at sea. Claire's going to pose for it. It's taller than you. Yeah. What is it? It's a little bit creepy. Look at this. Look at these little baby faces. I presume these are like Spanish royalty or something. How bizarre. How creepy. Ugh. Give you nightmares in the night.
Yeah, I don't like it.
And then Santona is the name of the ship, and also a place on the coast of the Cantabrian Sea. Did not know that. So the ship, the Santona, is named after a little fishing village on the Cantabrian coast. I wonder if we'll get to see it. I'm not sure what this is, but these are some of the old legends, or not legends, superstitions that sailors would be scared of. And no bananas on board, believed to be so unlucky they would cause the ship to be lost. Whole cargoes of bananas were especially frightening for sailors. Now I mention that because we brought at least 4 bananas on board this vessel. And we ate some of them for breakfast already as a little snack before we went to the main breakfast hall. So hopefully we don't bring about the downfall of the ship by bringing bananas on board.
I'm in trouble with Brit.
It's all Claire's fault, because Claire's the one who brought the bananas on board, aren't you, Claire? This is La Taberna, the tavern. This looks like the main sort of buffet breakfast area. Let's eat. Oh, so it looks like a sort of buffet style.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I have a mini.
Yeah, so you've got, these are the pastries for the mini breakfast, I guess. So we've gone for the express breakfast. €6.90. You get these tiny little pastries. But you can also get a full English, scrambled eggs, beans, sausages, hash browns, bacons. Beers on tap. Not sure if they're serving these for breakfast. Murphy's Irish Stout, Strongbow, Vin Blanc, Vin Rouge. And I caved in and I've gone for the cooked breakfast. I went for it. The vegetarian cooked breakfast. So this sets you back €9, which isn't too bad. And then the Petit Déjeuner Express gets you a coffee. Individually, the coffee is €2.60, and it gets you 2 tiny pastries. I mean, I saw the size of the tiny pastries, which is why I went for the larger breakfast. Gotta stay fed when you're at sea. So Claire went for the Petit Déjeuner. How were the pastries?
Good, good. So Brittany Ferries, obviously, as in the name is Brittany, it is a French ship, which is interesting because they're not going to France, they're between the UK and Spain, but the crew on the ship are all French. And it does also mean that the pastries are also French. These pain au chocolats are very good. You can't get them in England like this.
Are they the real deal? There you have it. You want real French pastries? Come on to Portsmouth to Santander ferry.
Coffee verdict, not great.
Oh,
That's all I have to say, really.
There you have it. Come for the pastries, stay for the cooked breakfast, leave because of the coffee. Throw yourself overboard. All right, so we're 10 hours down. Breakfast complete. Tour of the main galley complete. Too early for a beer, too early for a wine. What do we do now? 22 hours left to kill. We just came into the lower deck. And we were curious because there's a lot of people queuing up. But if you want to dine in the Azul restaurant, is it called? You have to make a reservation between 10 and 11 in the morning. Otherwise, you won't get a seat. All right, here it is, the duty-free shop. This is like the biggest, the biggest area on the ship, isn't it? So you get all your gins. Captain Morgan's, Bacardi. How much is it? €20 a bottle, basically. Oh, it depends, €35. So these are your typical Spanish sandwiches that you get in all the little Spanish supermarkets. You got, what's this one? Tuna and egg, which is, to be fair, that's what I'd go for. You got delicious chicken, delicious BLT. Not sure what makes it delicious.
They're all delicious.
Oh, they're all delicious. Oh, delicious is the brand. And then a little bit healthier, you can get tuna salad and Indian falafel. French Indian falafel. I'm not sure about that. It's a real merging of cultures there.
Indian falafel.
Orangina, so you don't get scurvy. Contrary to the information we were told earlier about not bringing bananas on board, you can buy bananas in the shops. Let's hope we stay afloat with all these bananas. So this is the Azul restaurant that everyone was queuing up to make reservations at. And you can get breakfast, lunch and dinner here, I think. 3-course meals, hors d'oeuvre buffets. So we just stepped outside onto the lifeboat deck. You can see the big lifeboats behind me. And we're what, about 10 hours into the journey now?
Yeah.
I think we can see land over this way, which would probably be the French coast. So I imagine that's possibly Normandy, perhaps. It would take about 10 hours to get from Portsmouth across to Caen or somewhere in Normandy. Not really sure. But anyway, we're probably going to be hugging the French coast for a while until we sort of make it into the Atlantic area. And then I think we cut across the Bay of Biscay or the Basque Sea. And yeah, at some point we'll arrive in Santander. And I have to say, so far the journey has been a lot more pleasant than I was fearing last night. Had the best night's sleep in the cabin. I think I was just so tired, and the rolling of the ship just sent me straight to sleep, and I was just knocked out. Nice little breakfast as well. Hasn't been too rocky yet. Haven't felt seasick or anything like that. So yeah, it might be a nice afternoon having a few beers on the sun deck if the sun comes out. my mistake. That wasn't Normandy, apparently. Claire
It was Brittany, or further south of Brittany.
believes it's Brittany.
I know.
She knows it's Brittany, the home of the Bretons, who are
Home of my cousins.
related to the Cornish, the ancient Cornish race that Claire is descended from. So yeah, interestingly, because we live in Devon, not far from Cornwall, and the Bretons speak a very similar language to the Cornish, the ancient Celtic language. And yeah, as you can see, not that far. And Brittany obviously comes from the name Britain. It's the land of the Britons. So this is our home over here. The British people should take back Brittany from the French. Joking. So yeah, let's take a little tour of the upper deck and see what's going on. I think if the weather was a bit nicer, there'd be this outdoor bar. And this is as far as you can go. I think that's the crew area, the helicopter landing pad there. It says emergency. Ah, look who it is. It's Claire's footsteps. Working out at the gym.
But I can't really go back because these are in the way.
What's the gym like?
Not great.
Not great. It's all right. You can do your pull-ups. You can. What's this one? I guess to work your hips out, maybe. I don't really know.
What's this one?
There you go. You can do this for 12 hours. That'll kill some time. So now that we've met Brittany's coast, soon enough, I think we'll be cruising into the Bay of Biscay, or the Basque Sea, as it's sort of more traditionally known. And really, that's the main reason we kind of made this journey. This ferry goes to Santander, longest ferry in Europe, as I said. But from Santander, we'll be taking a train across to Bilbao, which is the de facto capital of Basque Country. The Basque, the most mysterious people in Europe, one of the oldest lived cultures, a language that's not related to any of the surrounding languages, the Romance languages of France or Spain. And it's a place I've always wanted to go. So once we complete this journey, I'll be bringing you a few videos from the Basque Country as we try and figure out who the Basques really are. There we go, Brittany Ferries and the French flag flying proudly on the route from England to Spain. So the announcer has just announced that the next film on is Bridget Jones. To be fair, they've actually got a whole cinema set up here. It's like €9 to watch a movie. And they're quite up-to-date releases. You've got Gladiator 2, Bridget Jones, stuff like that. So good way to kill the time, I guess, if you're getting bored of just wandering around or drinking beer. Yeah, we've still got a long way to go. I think this is definitely the longest ferry ride I've ever taken in my life. Probably the second longest was the Caspian Sea ferry from Azerbaijan to Aktau in Kazakhstan, which took about 24 hours, I think. That was 10 years ago I did that. But yeah, this boat is a lot more comfortable than a rusty Russian old merchant navy ship. All right, getting a bit chilly on deck, so I'm gonna head in and find some warmth. Oh, tapas de jour. So at the sports bar, you can get these little tapas plates of cheese, hams, salamis. Very cool. John Smith's. All right, Claire has brought the goods. So you get a free glass of wine or a free beer with every little plate of tapas.
Well, when you buy 3 tapas.
It's muy España. Well, cheers.
Than I thought it would be.
Here's to Europe's longest ferry ride.
Olives and some you said cheese.
All right, hour number 13, 2 beers down. The entertainment's arrived. Bit of bingo if you fancy, in the sports bar. 14 hours in, I've switched to Spanish time to make the wake up call a little easier. And yeah, just on the sun deck, gonna find a sunny spot to have a cold beer. Yeah, oh, perfect spot. Oh yes, this is the life. All right, we're 16 hours in. As you can see behind me, the sun is setting over the Bay of Biscay. Hour 18. Still got a long way to go. But luckily most of the rest of this journey will be spent, hopefully, asleep in the cabin.
Are you not having fun on the sleeper ferry, Richard?
No, it's good. It's good. Are you having good fun?
Yeah, I'd stay for a few days if I could. It's nice. I'm disconnected from the world.
You spent a few days on the ferry.
Oh, would you? Totally. I've spent many days on ferries.
What's the longest you'd spend on the ferry?
The longest I would spend on a ferry?
Yeah.
About a week?
Really?
Yeah, I'd take a ferry across the Atlantic if I could. I'd take a ferry across the Pacific if I could. I'd take a ferry across if I could.
All right.
I don't know if I'm drunk or the boat's just rocking.
Yeah, not sure if I'm drunk or if the boat's just rocking. Time for our first and last dinner on the boat. Bit of a queue. Is this the queue for the dinner?
There are no pesto pieces on there.
Oh no. Alright, so this is the food you get on the ferry to Santander. We've got tuna salad, we've got a pinza, which is like a kind of pizza, and a vegetable soup. You could also get chicken curry, lamb curry I think, or beef curry maybe. 19 hours in, and it's dark, it's cold. I think this is where I sign off for the night. It's been a long day. Long day of not really doing much except drinking and being on a ship. But that is the ferry. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It's the morning wake up call on the ship.
This would not wake everyone up.
Alright, good morning. And that is the wake up call. Very weirdly soothing. It doesn't really stir you to action. But I think that means it's time to get up. It's 6:45 Spanish time, 5:45 English time. We should be getting in just over an hour, I think. So that is the first glimpse of the Spanish coast in daylight. We are now just over 30 hours into the journey, almost 31, and we'll be getting there in just about an hour's time. So the total journey will be about 31 and a half hours, I think. They say it can take anywhere between 27 to 32 hours, which is why this is the longest commercial ferry route in Europe. I'm excited to get some Pintxos and a coffee, and later tonight a Cerveza in Spain. I should say this whole journey cost about £112 for a foot passenger, plus you pay extra for a cabin we were in. But if you wanted to, you could just sleep out in the galley, the bar areas, or they have reserved seating as well. I think the cabin is the way forward. There it is. The land of Pintxos awaits us. So it's safe to say the 32-hour journey was worth it, just for this entrance to Santander. I think this beats flying. So this is it. This is Santander. Got a fellow Brittany Ferry there, about to make the journey back perhaps. So there we go, we made it. Just got to dock, go through passport control, and then we'll be in Santander. Slow journey, but to be fair, the last section, the longest section. So you're on it for 2 nights. First night, you're just kind of in bed. Then you've got the whole day. Second night, kind of just flies past. So it really only feels like one day rather than sort of the 32 hours it is. Alright, so all the foot passengers have to wait before they can disembark. So all the cars are heading off now. So I'm just going to head back to the cabin to grab our stuff and find out how we get off this ferry. Alright, so we were last off the boat. You get on a little bus and they take you to this ferry terminal, which is now almost empty. Easy passport control, they come on the bus. Make sure you can enter Spain. It's EU, so from being from the UK we now get a stamp. Then you arrive in this spacious terminal. Brittany Ferries, a few seats. Tourist information. It's eerily quiet. I was hoping to get some breakfast, some Pintxos, but even the cafe is closed, unfortunately. So we did it. We completed the voyage across the sea from Portsmouth to Santander, from England to Spain. What are your thoughts, Claire?
I loved it. I'd spend longer on it. I wish we had another night.
Yeah. There you go. It could have been longer.
It could have been. I wish it was longer.
It could have been longer.
Apart from, I would have got quite fed up of the lack of vegetarian options on there.
And we're not finished yet. We've still got another journey to make today. Hopefully we'll find some breakfast, have a little look around Santander. But then we're taking a train, a very slow train, from Santander to Bilbao. So, thank you for watching my voyage across the seas. And join me next week, where I'll be bringing you videos from the Basque Country. So straight off the ferry into my favourite place in Spain, 100 Montaditos. It's like the Weatherspoons of España. So I've been craving Pintxos the entire ferry trip, and pretty much just outside of the ferry terminal you can walk straight in to 100 Montaditos, the Spanish Weatherspoons, and we've just ordered a plate full of bocadillos and Pintxos and little tapas stuff. Now I know people out there will be saying this isn't the most traditional Spanish restaurant, and it's not, but it is cheap, and it is right outside the ferry terminal. So this is where our journey to Santander from Portsmouth really ends.